Okay, so good evening, everyone. So last session we discussed about few events. How do we deal with some events already we learned? So these events related, some examples also I given to you. So mouse events, keyboard events, we designed them. And here for this, we used key events and mouse events. Let's take another example. Element state events. State events. Element state events, as I told you, like we have on, that is change, that is an element state event on, blur, and we have like on, focus, and we have like on, select, start. This all comes under element state events. Several interactions we can manage by using this. Have you tried that Flipkart example I showed you? Anybody? Able to achieve that? Yesterday I asked you to try one example. No? Right? So you posted in classroom, you try to post that in classroom. Google Classroom, any example that you have done, you can post into classroom, right? So that other people can watch if you have done, okay? Right. So if anybody have done that, I will upload, right? Yeah. You upload into classroom. So on change, we used in different options. I will show you one example. We will see one simple example by using this element state. We have blur. Blur indicates when element loses the focus. Blur indicates when it loses the focus. Focus means when element gets a focus. For example, let's try one option. Here I am creating a simple design. Let's say here, yeah, in this we have, so register user, npm start, okay. We have register user, and in this register user we have a data list and data term, and here we have username and data definition. Input type is text. Now what I want here is, if user is not entering user name and he went there but not entering name and came out, then immediately it should show an alert saying that username required. That means we have to verify whether username entered or not. That means if username is not entered, I need to show a message that username is required. Then how you will manage? When to display username required or not? There may be several techniques. I will show you here. Let's compile this here. Right. So in this, what is the concept is, user can click inside that text box. Suppose we will give one option. I will put a button. So that is submit. Okay. Yeah, here I want two functionalities. One is if user is not entering username and click on submit, it should show message. Please enter username required. So first we will implement that. For that, what we have to do, on click. On click, we will write submit click. Okay. How to collect what they have entered in text box? We need to collect what they entered in text box. We need to know what is in text box, right? How do we get what is there in the text box and verify? Actually, initially here, we are declaring constant username and set username is equal to use state. It is a string type. Okay. Now I need to collect what they entered in text box. So while typing inside the text box, I need to collect that information. So we will write on change. On change, we will say handle user name. Okay. Here we are writing a function handle username. How to collect what value they entered inside it? So we will put here event argument, right? So here we will say, so set username e dot target dot value, whatever value they entered inside it. Okay. Now here we are defining another function, that is submit click. On submit click, we are accessing this username. We are accessing that username. That means I will put that username. How do we access username? If username is equal to empty, means there is no value inside. If it is empty, then what should happen? We will put some message. So constant user error. So set user error. And it is use state. It is what type? String. And here we need to define set user error. Say user name required. This is the message we want to display. And otherwise, if it is present, then we will put document.write hello. We will print that user name. Whatever username entered, we will display that. Now, what we are doing here is when user is clicking that submit button, we want to display the message below. So class name text danger, and here we will put user name, user error. User error we will display. So what is the concept? When anybody clicks on this button and they don't enter, it says username required. That is good. And when I entered username, some username is entered and click submit, it should say submit. If I am not entering username, it should display that username required. This is how we need to manage. It's lengthy. If you ask, is there any shortcut for this? Why I have to write on change? Because in JavaScript, what you do, directly get element of text box. And if it is empty, you will put a message. But here we have to write event for every control. If you ask, this looks very lengthy, is there any shortcut? No. React does in the same way. If you want shortcut, then you have to use third party. Those third parties we are going to learn in next level, how to use third parties and make this simple. But as of now, there is no other way. You have to follow this concept. Now, I want here the message to display. Observe carefully, not only on submit click, when user clicks inside text box. Inside text box means it is focus, and clicks outside the text box without typing, then I want to display that message. That means verification of username entered or not must be done two ways. On submit click, another one on blur. Blur means what? When user clicks inside, this is focus. Blur means when click outside, that is blur. Then what we have to do, we need to write event here. How do we write event? On change, and here we have to write on blur. On blur, what we have to do? On blur, we need to verify username is there or not. That means submit click should work. That means on blur, which event it should handle? It should handle which event? Submit click. That submit click is verifying whether that username is entered or not. That means now what happens? I click inside and click outside, then it should say username required. That means now you need to handle in two ways. One, when user clicks submit button, it will show. Without clicking the submit button, user clicks inside. Without entering name, he clicks outside, then it should display. After entering the name, so you click, then it submits. Because I return same submit click, it depends. You have to write another event. Actually, what you do, if you want any another functionality, then what you do, not submit click, what we do, you need to write another function. What is the function? Handle user blur. Am I right? Handle user blur. Here same logic, but what we will do, set user message. Here we will say set user error, set user error. We will keep empty if name is entered. That means here I will not use submit click. What we have to use, handle user blur. For blur one function and for click another function. So you can see now I am typing here. So I click inside and click outside, then it says username required. I entered some username. After that I click outside, then it is done. For example, if you want to remove that message while typing, that means when user is removing, you can see I am removing. When I remove the last character, then it should show username required. There are so many consequences now. Tell me what to do. When I remove the last character and there is no value, then again this message should come. Then we have to write one more event for this. What is that event? On key up. Understood? On key up is to verify every character. On key up, that means handle user key up. Okay. Let's write this function also now. We will write this function. What is that function? Handle user key up. What should happen? Same logic, understood? The same logic you need to keep here. On key up also we need to verify. But if you are reusing, then you can write in a function and you can call it, right? Reusability, you know how to handle. That means if any set of code is reused, then write a function and call that function again and again. That means now you can see I am typing here. I click here and click outside, username required. I entered David, now it is fine. While typing, it is removed. I removed the last character, again it should come. That means we are handling all situations. On submit click, it is verifying. On blur, it is verifying. On character remove, it is verifying. Because if you start typing something, it should disappear now. It should not display. And once I click outside, that's okay. And I click submit, it should submit. And suppose I am submitting directly, it should not submit. I entered some name, it will be hidden. I removed that name, it will display. Validation means so many things are required. For every element, you have to write like this. That is very, very risky concept for any Angular developer. And there is no other way. In Angular, you have to do like this only. That feels like very lengthy, risky. That's the reason 100 to 100% we don't prefer this way in real-time projects. What we do, we prefer third parties. Those third parties already written this logic. We just have to implement. That we will learn, we will see. But without the third party, if you have to handle, then you need to be very, very strong in events. You need to understand which event for which purpose, where for which element you have to apply, right? This we need to manage, right? Now, see, this is one condition. I hope you understood this. That means here all consequences are addressed. If user is not typing anything, it will show. If user try to submit, it will not submit. It will submit only, and when user starts typing, it will hide. It will hide. This we can manage, right? There are a lot of conditions to write. We will see those conditions. Now tell me how to manage. This is okay. This is one validation. Now tell me, suppose there is another element. This is select city. Say your city. And there is data definition. Here we have select. Now we have an option. So select city. And we have an option. So Delhi. We have an option. So Hyderabad, like this. So option, some Chennai. Now tell me how to validate whether city is selected or not. Can we give required for drop down? There is a required concept now. Can we give required for drop downs? No. Required cannot be given for drop down. Now here question is, user must select one city. If user is not selecting any city and clicking this button, it should show, please select city. Now tell me the logic. Question understood, right? That means now I have to first verify whether they selected a city or not. How to verify whether they selected a city or not? Because remember, even first one is also an option. Understood? First one is also an option. That means it thinks that all the four are cities only. But first one is not city. If user selects first one, it should say you haven't selected city. If user selects others, then it should say this city you selected. Then how to handle this? So this is what we need in the event arguments actually. See now. First, we will create another one here, constant. This is city name and set city name and use state. City is also a string, okay? And constant city error. And we have set city error. This is also use state, empty. Now, how do we get which city they selected? Here, you observe carefully. Here, every option, this is text. Text indicates what it shows. What it shows. Now we want value. Value indicates what it submits. What it shows is different. What it submits is different. I will do one thing. I will give the value as -1. You can give any name, doesn't matter. For example, I will give as not city. That means when user selects the first one, what will be submitted? Not city. And when user submits the second one, it will be Delhi. When user submits the third one, it will be like some Hyderabad. And when user selects the third, fourth one, right? And this will be like Chennai. This is how we need to manage. That means we need to define. Now, first, when user is selecting a city, we have to collect the city name. So we need to write a event. What is it? On change. On change, we will write city change. Okay. So we will write a function here. What is the function? City change. On city changed, we will collect which city they selected, E. How do we collect here? If E dot target dot value is equal to no city. Understood? No city or not? Not city means first one. That means if the value is not city, then what should happen? City error. City error should display a message. Please select your city. This is the message we need to give. Otherwise, what should happen? Otherwise, set city name. Here it should get E dot target dot value. The city name will be stored. City name will be stored. This is what we are doing when user is selecting. We have city error and we have city name. Now observe carefully here. I am displaying that message here. What is that message? Class name, text what? Danger. And here we need to display what is it? City error. That means now you see here, I am clicking, I am selecting Delhi. That is okay. I am selecting Hyderabad. It's okay. Chennai, it is okay. I select first one. It should show that message. What is problem here? We haven't binded a set city error, right? Set city error. It is not city error, set city error. Okay, right. We are displaying city error. Okay, fine. Now you see, I selected first one. Here, yeah, we selected Delhi. It's fine. I selected the first one. It should show the message. I selected the first one. That is, now it should disappear. Then you have to write another option. What is it? On change, city name will be stored. After that, what we will do? Set city error. It should be empty. It should not display. That means now I will refresh here. Yeah. I selected this Delhi. So I selected first one, it is showing. And I selected Delhi, it will be hidden. Right? That is what we are displaying. This is on change. This is on blur. This is on key up. Am I right? These are all very important in validation. And this is on click. On click, currently we are displaying only name. Huh? On click, what you can do, hello username and plus, so your age is some value. Value is what age, your city. Yeah. Your city is that city name, right? City name. That is what we need to display. That means you say here, enter username and you need to select a city. If not selected, it will say, please select city. And I click on submit, it will get that and display that value. This is very important. So validation requires a lot of things. Now you can manage the same on submit click also. How do we do? For example, on submit click, we need to verify city also. Let's go submit click. Here we need to write one more condition. What is it? If, what is it? City name. If city name is equal to what it is? Not city. If city name is not city, then what we have to do? Set city error. We should say, please select your city. This message should come. Right? That is what we need to write. Else we need to display the same option. You can write multi-level conditions and define. That means you are verifying. On submit also you have to verify. Here you can see they are selecting. It says on submit, it should verify. So you are using this. You are selecting and you can see on this, it will verify both. Until or unless you enter name. You enter name and you select city and you click on submit, it will display. I am writing on change, either change or submit. You can use any one because you are writing on change. Immediately city changed, it will verify. If you are not writing on change, then it will verify on which one? Submit click. On submit click. That means suppose this city change is not written. What will happen? It will not verify which one they selected. You need to write both. Change, you need to write click. Both combinations are required. So this is basically how we use element state related events. What is focus? It's focus is nothing but when user clicks inside. If you want to show some message, then you can do that by using focus. Suppose like some tips or some messages you want to display, then you can do that on which one? On focus. That means, for example, so suppose I will write here for this text box, we will write on focus. On focus. On focus, I will say, so user focus. Okay, we will write a function. What is the function? User focus. On user focus, we will put message. Set user error. Set user error, we will just put a message. What is that message is? User name is required. User name is required. That is the message we are giving. And that means what is that concept is? When user clicks inside, it says username is required. That means, so, or I can put a different message, like I can say that username. So name is mandatory, right? Name is mandatory. That means when I click inside, it says name is mandatory. And when I click outside, it says username required. That means we have one focus, another one on blur. When you click inside, name mandatory. And when you click outside, then it says required. and you entered some name, then it is fine, right? It is displayed. These are all very important in handling validations. And generally, majority, you have to work with different types of events to handle different types of interactions. To develop a good user interface, you need to be very, very strong in events. And to develop good utilities also are very important in React. You need to be very good in events. You need to know all concepts of working with events. This is one example. This is an example for that. So here I have used different consequences. Remember, gradually when you are learning new concepts, more concepts, you will learn more simplified techniques. You will learn more simplified techniques. These are currently the techniques you are learning as per what React is having. I am not using any third party. To make it simplified, we need to start working with third parties. Then we can make this everything easy. That also we will see level by level, we will explore. So I hope these events you understood, how we can manage these events, right? Next important, in the events, we have element state events, and we have other events like we have clipboard events. We have clipboard events. Clipboard events are also very regularly used. Clipboard events are nothing but we have like on cut, we have like on copy, we have like on paste. These all comes under clipboard events. Because you know the meaning of cut, copy, paste. What is the meaning of cut? It removes the selected information and puts it on clipboard. That means whenever you cut anything, copy anything, it is kept in clipboard. Clipboard is Windows temporary memory. Anything from any software that you cut or copy, it is kept in clipboard. Actually, you can manage your clipboard directly in Windows. For example, I selected this 3 lines and I copied. And whenever I paste, those 3 lines will come. If I ask how to clean these 3 lines from memory, because whenever I paste, those 3 lines will come. If I ask how to clean these 3 lines from memory so that it will not paste again. Actually, in your computer, you will have clipboard. You will have clipboard. This is clipboard settings. You can go to your clipboard. This is clipboard. Actually, clipboard contains, you can see clipboard history. This clipboard contains share across devices. Do you know interesting part about clipboard is you can copy in your laptop and you can paste in your mobile. Across devices also clipboard is available. Once you sign in into Microsoft account, it is possible. That means on laptop you copied some paragraph, you can paste that in mobile. In mobile you copied some content, you can paste it on your laptop. You can synchronize devices for clipboard. You see here there is an option clear clipboard data. If I click on that clear button, the clipboard data is deleted. If clipboard data is deleted, now I try to paste, it's not working anymore. So that is what generally happening, right? So what is meant by clipboard? Clipboard events means the events which are related to cut, copy and paste. These are all clipboard events. These days, we need these regularly everywhere because people who are using smartphones and devices, one of the problem is right click is not very much available. In smartphones and devices, they don't use right click very much. Then how they do? They use a long press, then it will copy. Am I right? These kind of things, that means one problem that people face regularly is they are not sure whether it is copied or not. and they go to some other location and try to paste, it is not working. That's the reason we have to show status like copied. We have to show status like paste, inserted, copied, removed, all this status we need to show. For example, suppose roughly here, I am using another data term like mobile. And data definition, we have input type is equal to text. So we are using input type is text. Now I need here some option like I'm writing on cut. On cut. So I will write here handle cut. So I am writing on copy. So that means we have to define handle copy. Copy. And we have like on paste. On paste. So we have like handle paste. Handle paste. Like this, these are the actions. Now see, we need to display. So the functions here, we will create a message. That means we are creating a constant and MSG set message, and it is use state and it is empty. Empty. And here we are defining the functions, right? Here we will put the message MSG. We are displaying the message. Now I'm just adding those functions. The functions are nothing but like function. So handle cut. So, and we have set message. So removed and placed on clipboard. This is the message I am giving. And suppose we have a function called handle copy. Then set message, we say copied to clipboard. Copied to clipboard like this. And we have another function like handle paste. This indicates set message. This is like inserted from clipboard. From clipboard, these are all various interactions. That means now what happens? I entered some text here. Let's close this. Yeah. So I entered here some mobile number. And I selected this mobile number and I used some control C. That means it is copied. I removed this control X. That means it is removed and placed on clipboard. I said control V. That means it is inserted from clipboard. All these status are important. These are important. Whether you copied or not, cut or not, paste, these are all related to what? Clipboard. These events are related to clipboard. We call them as clipboard events. Clipboard events. So these are general things. So this is another same one additional example with cut, copy and paste. So these are related to clipboard. How we can manage the clipboard events. Next important, we are having another important, we are having touch events. Touch events you cannot try everywhere. These are only for touch screen devices. That means these will work only on touch screen devices. Actually, JavaScript introduced several new events for smartphones and all. Touch events we have like on touch start. You have like on touch end. We have like on touch move. So these are all touch related events. Touch start, touch end, touch move. These are all touch related. But important, you cannot control them without a touch screen device. If your device is touch screen, then only you can try. You can even practice. Otherwise, you cannot do that. With mouse, it will not happen. You have to do with only touch screens. For example, I will show you one simple here. So suppose we are having some images, right? Okay, shut is a JPG file. Okay. So here I'm adding one small logic again. Let's clean up. Now you can see this is right. This is all the function we have. Okay. Now you see here there is an image. Image source is some shirt.jpg. So width is 100 pixel and height is 100 pixel. Now what I want is I want the user to move this using touch screen. That means what should happen? I move the mouse pointer onto it, means I move my hand onto it, select and drag, then it will come to that, it should come to that position and stay. That means I must able to change its position using my touch screen. By using my touch screen, not with mouse. Mouse is already there. We learned yesterday mouse move. Through touch screen, we need to control. Then what we have to do is we have to write an event for this, that is on touch start. We have to use on touch start. Actually, touch start is only once, but continuous. Continuous means on touch move. Is it there? Move, right? Yeah. On touch move. We have to use on touch move. On touch move, I will use get position. Okay. We will write a function here. What is that function? Is get position. How to get the position where user is touching? Get the position. We need an event argument. Okay. Temporarily, I will write here console.log. I will show you because touch event arguments are little different. They are not like other event arguments. Touch have different event arguments. Actually, event arguments are almost same for everyone. Key event arguments, mouse event arguments, clipboard event arguments, element state event arguments, all are same. But touch event arguments are little different. How do we know what event arguments that event is having? You can write some logic. For example, what I will do, I want to know what are the event arguments it is having. So we will write for var property of what? Property in what? E. You know, in operator is used to know all the properties, all the properties. I will use document.write or I will use console.log. Console.log property. Let's print the properties. Let's observe here. I will open inspect. In that I will open console. In the console, you can see this is the console. Okay. Now, what I will do is here I will click on mouse pointer. It's nothing working because you written which event? Touch. I will touch that, then it has to get that positions. When I touch it, automatically you can see so many options came. These event arguments are very much different from other event arguments. Touch events are very new. Recently from JavaScript, so ES6 onwards, these are available. And you can see touch here is having, where is client X, client Y? X-axis, Y-axis position we need. Am I right? Where is X, Y? There is no X, Y. Earlier, if you have observed for mouse, X position, Y position, how we got that position? By using client X and client Y. But here there is no client X, client Y. There is no client X, client Y. Let's see here. So this is having so many options. You can see there is touches. Touches. There is one option called touches. There is, you see, lot of things are there. There is a target also, na? Target. Suppose I want to access the target. E dot what? Target. This is used to know what are present in that target. I will touch. then it should get what is present in target. You can see target contains so many, and target have a lot of things, and you can see in the target, so lot of there, and you can see XY are there. Target is having X and Y options. You can see target is having XY. That means target is having X and Y position. That means X and Y positions are available. X and Y position, that means now I will write like this. What we will do? We will use E dot console dot log. What is it? E dot target dot X. E dot target dot X. Now you see I am moving this here. I am moving this here. X position is coming. X position is coming. Actually, X position is displaying there. So I am using X position. You can see these numbers are changing here. That means this is only X position. Suppose I want to get Y position. That means in the next line, I will put a /n. In the next line, I will put E dot target dot Y. That means you can see X and Y positions. Here you can see it is at 45 position. I am moving, then it is accessing. You see the numbers are changing here. But the position you can see the position when I refresh here and I move that, you can see the position is at standard. What is the position of that image? X. The position of image is Y. But remember, these are very important to understand. Suppose you written for where property in what? E. Let's print console.log. Console.log what? Property. I will print the properties and I will refresh. I will move this. You can see these are all the properties. And let's check here. XY is not required here. This is having some more. There is a touches. Usually it will be in touches actually. I will use that. So E dot what? E dot what? Touches. Touches is one object. Touches is having 0 and item and length. What is there in touches? 0. I will use that. Touches 0. Here it is having client X and client Y. So the position of element you can access by using which position? E dot touches of 0. In that we have client X and client Y. We need to explore all these to understand, because some new events, if they are introduced into various environments, we have to explore by ourselves. We need to know what properties it is having, what type of properties, what attributes it refers to. So then we can implement. Okay, now I hope you can try this now. Now, you know how to get the x-axis, y-axis position. What is that? E dot touches of 0 dot what? Client. So what is it? Client X. It will get x-axis position. Now, what we have to do is, we need to move this image. We need to move this image using touch screen. That means through touch screen, user must able to move it. Then how we can manage? So I will put a paragraph above and I will say drag and drop with your touch. So that is the message I am giving. Now let's see how to write the logic for this. Get position. Now yesterday we learned dynamic styles. Now what we have to do? Constant style object. And what it is? Set style object. What is that? Use state. In use state, it is an object. Object needs what? Position. Position is empty. Another one, left. Left is empty. Another one, top. Top is also empty. Okay. Now when user is moving, yeah, here we will write set style object. Set style object. So what is the position? Position is yesterday we learned fixed now. Right. What is left? E dot touches of what? 0. 0 dot what? Client X plus pixels. Am I right? PX. PX is pixels. Because client X will return only number, but we have to give pixels. Similarly, what is the top one? E dot touches of 0 dot client Y plus pixels. Now this style object must be applied to this image. That means what we have to do, image style is equal to style object. We need to apply the style object. That means now what happens with the mouse, it will not work. You need to use your touch screen and drag. That means now I am using my touch screen, and through touch screen I am dragging and dropping where I want. It will not work with mouse now. It is by using my touch screen, I can drag and drop where I want. I can move at any place. So we can control by using mouse, or we can control by using touch. That's how we do. Touch have a lot of things. For example, so later after we finish certain concepts, I will show you. Suppose we can design a screen like user slides from left to right. Then it says phone unlocked. That means slide to unlock the phone. That means you can verify where he started sliding and where he ended sliding. That means if the screen's exposition is from 0 to 150 or 200, when it reaches 200, phone is unlocked. Such type of effects are very much, but remember, these are used mostly by people who are building apps for mobiles. React is used for developing mobile apps. For that, we need an extra framework called React Native. We use React Native. We will learn about React Native introduction because we are not learning mobile development here, but I will give you introduction about React Native, which is developing apps for Android and iOS. There, these kind of events are very familiar. We need to use them very regularly. So that you can manage by using this touch. This is actually touch. So touch events, we have so many touch events that you can manage by using this. These are touch events. This is an example for that. A simple touch event, not only this is touch moving. We can use touch start, touch end. Touch start, touch end is nothing but suppose user touches some element, then immediately we can display some message related to it. For example, suppose you see here, so here, let's take another simple example to make it clean. Here, suppose I am creating another set of images here. What else? Images, we have some, we have a div. Class name margin top 3, and here we will put some image, and this image source is some asp.jpg. So width is 100, so and the height is 100. Okay, and this image is having a ID is ASP. Okay, Now, similarly, we will keep some images here. One is ASP, another one is AWS.jpg. Now we want here AWS, and here I defined some DM. This is nothing but DM.jpg. Now here I will put some paragraph. Some paragraph I am displaying. Now what is the concept behind this is simple. When user selects which subject he wants, that subject related detail should come. And this is touch. When he touch ASP detail should come. When he touch Amazon, AWS details. Then we need to display the details according to which topic he is choosing. That means touch, not on mouse click. We are not using any mouse click. We want user to touch. That means here I will put a simple message saying that touch the course. So touch the course. So touch the course banner. So banner to view details like this I am giving. Now, how do we handle that? Now, what we need to do is we need to write one function. So that means selected course. Now, this must be used by all of them on touch start. Selected course. This is used by all the three. All three are using same. Now here I will create a constant. Constant is one is message. Set message is equal to use state. Message is initially empty. And here we will use an event argument. And here we are writing a switch. Into the switch, we are passing e.target.id. And the case, if the case is ASP, then what should happen? Set message should display ASP.NET is used for building server side web apps. Like this we are defined. And just put break. Now, similarly, we need to add other cases. That means we need to put another one. This is what? AWS. Suppose I said some AWS is cloud service. So here we have another one. What is it? DM. And here we said something about digital marketing. Like this we define. Now you see what happens. This message should display here in a paragraph. I'm using that MSG. Now how it will come? User have to touch. That means I am touching that, then I am getting that information related to that course. That means when I touch, it will do. Now tell me, when I touch, it should zoom. Then how? Nothing special. You have to just change the size. Right? On touch, you have to zoom. That means when I touch it, it should zoom. Right? That's nothing complicated. So that means if you want anything to happen on touch, right? On touch, it should move little left or right. It should zoom. These all things we can control. For that, we need to apply styles. If you can dynamically control the styles, not only styles, you can dynamically control the size. Width and height values you can keep dynamically. For example, I'm just giving here. So I will just give here. I will copy this one. This is another example. Suppose you want to control some animation like effects. right? You want to set some animation like effects. Then what we have to do, let's see this. I'm just using class as deflex, justify content center, align items center, okay, and style height as some 500 pixel, okay, and inside this we have an image source is equal to some image asp.jpg, and this width is having initially 100 and the height is initially 100. Now usually it looks in this way, center on screen. Now what should happen when user touches it? It should zoom, right? When user touches that image, it should zoom. Then how you do that? That means you need to write an option. What is it? On touch start. On touch start. On touch start. So we will say zoom image. Zoom image is the function. So here we need to handle that. How do you zoom image? That means we need a constant. What is it? Style object and set style object, and here use state. What you need to apply? You can use transformations, you know, CSS 2D 3D, right? Or here I am just defining an object with width. Width is empty and the height is also empty. Just only two options are there, width and height. Now what should happen when we write a function? What is it? Zoom image. Zoom image, we will give set style object. So width we will mention so to 400 pixel and the height also to 400 pixel. That is the width and height of an object, and this must be applied to that image. This is style object. So here we write style is equal to style object. That is dynamical. That means when I click on that, it should zoom. Now backdrop. Backdrop means when I click outside, then it should again normal. How? What is click outside? Actually, here click outside is this container, na? The parent. You are writing event for the parent. That means here I will say on touch start. So we say on touch start. Okay. On touch start. On the parent, if you touch anywhere in the parent you touch, that means on touch start. Suppose zoom out. We are writing just zoom out. That means we are having a function. What is it? Zoom out. Zoom out. And what that have to do? This style object. This style object should again set to 100 and 100. That means actually that depends on how you configure it. So you click. So on that, I think this is working with both same. Huh? Actually, what it is doing is it is in the same parent, na? Right? It is in the same parent. That is the problem. Huh? We need to keep another container and define that. Where it is. By default, it is same. We need touch start, and where is another one is touch end. We will give these events are little bit touch end means we need to use touch, zoom out. This is fine. Okay. That is touch end is release. When I release, then it will be again normal. Okay. That means we are defining two options. One is touch start, another one is touch end, touch end. That means what we are doing here, when you move the mouse onto it and click on it, it is there. And I click outside, then it is normal. Then you can change this in and out. This you can control by using touch. Touch have a lot of options. Just 1-2 examples I given to you. That's it. Right. Now, suppose if you want to design various touch interactions, mobile development is better, right? Later, when I give you a basic introduction of how to develop apps for mobile Android, then some more samples I will give you, you can try them, right? These are all related to touch. These are touch events, right? Next important in the events, we have form events. Form events. I hope these events you already know. Form events, we have two events. One is on submit, another one is on reset. These two comes under form events. Generally, form events are written where? Generally, form events are written for form element, and this event will fire up when user submits the form. These things you will learn with API. When we learn about API, we will see. But just temporarily, I will show you. But actually, we have to work with this API because APIs are used for submitting form data to backend. Then we can handle that. Initially, you can try this. Suppose I'm giving a form, and what should happen? So we are keeping a simple data list, data term. So username, data definition. Here input type is equal to text, and just it is having a name. Name is equal to username. Something like this. That means now you have, say, a button. This button is submit. On submit, if you want some functionality to happen, you don't need to write submit button click. Why? Because you know this button is what kind of button? Submit button. By default, button is submit button. Now see what will happen is when you type anything here, I entered some name and I clicked on submit. There is no event written. Without writing event, it will submit the form. Without writing event, how it is submitting the form? Because actually this is a submit button, and if it is kept in a form have the ability to submit the form data. That means without writing event, it is able to submit the form data. So this problem will come only when you kept inside form, because form have the ability to submit. Now in many interviews, they ask this. This is very important point, is how to avoid the default functionality performed by any element. Because some elements have some default functionality. Without we write, it is doing something. We don't want like that. We want that to do only what we ask to do. We don't want any default functionality. This is very important question actually. So that means they ask how you will handle this. How you handle this. It's very simple actually. If this button is doing some default functionality, what is the default functionality? It is submitting the form and you want to stop it. Then what you have to do is actually you have to write here. So you have to write an event. What is that event here? On submit. On submit. So we will say submit click. And observe carefully, I am writing here, I am writing a function called submit click. Submit click. And on submit click, I am keeping alert as form submitted. Just some message submitted. This is the message. Now see what happens. This button is going to do two tasks. Observe carefully. What this button is going to do is, I entered some name and I clicked on submit. It shows an alert. That means it should show an alert. After showing alert, observe carefully, it is submitting the form data to server. Is this functionality we mentioned? This functionality we haven't mentioned. We mentioned only alert, but it is doing some extra work internally. This kind of work we should not allow to do. That means the elements have the default functionality. We need to stop that. Then how do we stop? By using event argument. In the event argument, we have an option E dot, we have prevent default. We have to use this prevent default. This is very, very important for HTML elements, because several HTML elements have default functionality. That means you return a functionality, it will do. In addition to that, it will do some other, because already it is having some functionality. Then how do we prevent default functionality? By using this technique. That means we don't want to do any default functionality if it is having. That means here I want it to do only the work given to it. Submit, then it form submitted. Default functionality not working now. It is not submitting now. Observe carefully. I click submit, form submitted. It is not posting the value. Am I right? If I don't use this prevent default, what is happening? If I don't use that prevent default, see what is happening. I entered some name, I clicked on submit, form submitted, and it is posting. You can see the data is posted now. We don't want such default activities to perform. Then we have to use prevent default. If any element in HTML is doing some default functionality, we have to prevent. This is very important. This we can do by using this submit and all these options. Here a simple note is nothing but you can prevent default functionality, default functionality for any element by using the event arguments. The event argument, that is E dot what? Prevent default. This is the method you need to handle. That is prevent default. This is very important. So mostly this, there is actually another technique. People, what they do, if I don't want this, then they can do the button type as button. Understood? If I give button type as button, then it will not be a submit button. If it is not a submit button, this will not work now. Understood? This will work only for which kind of buttons? Submit buttons. That means you can see I entered something, click on submit. It's not working because now it is not a submit button. It is an ordinary. If you want submit to happen, the button type must be what? Button type must be submit. Default button type is submit. You can make the button type as submit. If it is submit, it have default submit functionality. If you want to prevent, then you have to use prevent default. This is very important. Otherwise, double posting will happen. One is the work you done, you mentioned, another work by default it will do something. That means it is posting the data and it is doing your work. It is doing both. We should not allow that. That is done by using prevent default, right? This is one important concept to understand and work with event, right? These are different events we have. Another concept is in the events, we have one more very important, that is timer events. timer events. Timer events are very much good and important, and actually people call these in different ways. I hope you know in React interviews, people ask what is event bubbling, event throttling, right? So event related, so many technical words they use. All those are related to these timers, asynchronous timers. We need to understand how to use them. Some advanced event related interview questions now we are going to handle by learning these events, timer events, right? That we will see tomorrow. Right, in tomorrow's session, we will discuss about some more advanced concepts of events. And these are very guaranteed in interviews in React. That means what we are going to discuss some concepts tomorrow, they are very much asked for experienced people in React in almost all interviews. So we need to know them perfectly and understand the concept that we will see in tomorrow's session. Okay, right. Tomorrow we'll continue.